Marker. Marker.
Is that
marker.
to time the audio with the video?
Mm-hmm. Why did you bring us to this dodgy place?
I have not been abducted.
The atheists meetup. That's where we met.
Yes.
Yeah. So that must be over 5 years, almost 6 years. But time moves on, right, Lucy? Let me get all philosophical and okay. Let's start with something fun. Gera širdelė, plika subinėlė. Good heart, naked butt. No timer.
Okay, does it have to do with good character and lack of wealth?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes? Wow.
For a minute I was worried whether the naked butt would refer to other stuff, but yeah, glad to hear it wasn't one of those.
Yeah. Like, to be very precise, it is when someone is so generous that he's giving away everything that he has for others and not really keeping much to himself. Do you have anything like that in Greek?
Not referring to the wealth, but we can describe somebody as exokardia, which means outside heart. It's like, oh, this guy, he's an exokardia kind of guy. Η γλώσσα κόκαλα δεν έχει, αλλά κόκαλα τσακίζει.
Does it have something to do with church?
No.
Like iglesia in Spanish?
Although half of the Greek proverbs do have to do with somehow with church, this one doesn't. This one refers to the tongue having no bones, but the ability to shatter bones.
Would you use that still in daily language still?
I think it does come from ancient Greek, but it is used in modern Greek quite a lot. We do have a proverb called πυρ, γυνή και θάλασσα. Don't know if you can guess that.
No idea.
Pyr is fire, Gini is women, and Thalassa is sea. And it is an ancient Greek one. It refers to the three elements of nature you need to be very respectful towards. Because if you anger any one of the three, you're pretty much done for.
But that makes sense. Thinking about your goddesses in the Greek gods pantheon.
It does. And although all three have their magnetism and their attraction...
You don't want to make them enraged.
No. Seeing any one of those three angry against you is something to behold.
Okay, another one, just because we have a dog here.
Okay.
Lithuanian ones do feature dogs quite a lot.
Oh.
Yeah, generally animals. But the one about the dog is, even a dog being hung, as in strangled, gets used to it.
Okay.
Šuo kariamas pripranta.
That, straight away that brought to mind Soviet times in mind, that you can get used to misery no matter how bad it is.
Yeah, I wonder if it developed around that time, but yeah, that's exactly what it means. You can get used to basically anything, no matter how unpleasant it is, because you're just like a gum. You can stretch without a limit.
We do have a lot of historical misery in our culture. We don't have the optimism of, for example, the Americans, or the sarcasm of the Brits, or the, I don't know what Australians have, because Australian culture is way too young, but that sort of having been through some really, really tough times and integrating that to your culture, I think that is common between Greeks and Lithuanians.
Yeah. Okay, give me more.
We do have a dog one, which is fairly easy to guess, called that the tail of the dog never lies.
Yeah, about someone who is very obvious.
Yeah,
I know, like me, if I see something embarrassing, I just blush like this. I just remember animal ones at the moment. There's another one about let the pig into the church and it's gonna poop on the altar. Įleisk kiaulę į bažnyčią ir ant altoriaus prišeks.
Is that the equivalent of do not, throw pearls in front of swine? Or?
It's more about, I think, a person who is unaware about the boundaries and will overstep it no matter how delicate the situation is. If the person is just always, brute forcing through life, and no matter how sensitive the situation might be, he's just gonna be himself and stay true to the nature.
On the subject of animals, we have a proverb which is 4 words. Κάλλιο γαϊδουρόγευε... όχι, wait.
Good to see that not only me forget Lithuanian words.
Γαϊδουρόδαινε παρά γαϊδουρογύρευε, which means better to tie your donkey than look for your donkey.
So that's literally like better be careful, cautious, take care of stuff than go looking for it.
I can give you a religious one.
Oh, yeah. Since we met in the atheist group, it makes sense.
Of course it does. Thu Kyrie φυλακή το στόματί μου. And the translation would be like...
Akis už akį, eye for an eye?
No. We do have that as well, but... Oh Lord, keep my mouth a jail. Meaning that stop me from wording out loud the words that I want to say.
Keep your mouth
the teeth
shut,
of
basically.
my mouth to be the cages of a jail.
I'm gonna give you one which Brian and other people had quite a lot of trouble guessing. Talking to someone as if throwing the peas onto a wall.
Okay, is it like talking without being listened to?
It's in the direction. Someone is so stubborn that just wouldn't hear what you're saying and just, stick to their opinion. It's someone whose opinion is impossible to change.
On the opposite spectrum of says, we occasionally use something which has been historically said, πάταξον μεν, άκουσον δε, which means strike me, but listen to me. When you are in an argument and you want to put your point across and your fellow listener might get a bit aggressive at you and your opinions, so you might turn to them and say, πάταξον μεν, άκουσον δε, which was actually said by Aristides to Themistocles when they were arguing about how to deal with the second Persian invasion in Greece 2,500 years ago. And Themistocles got angry at Aristides and he raised his club, because the general in ancient Greece was given a club for obvious reasons, because we're Greeks. And Aristides replied to him with πάταξον μεν, άκουσον δε.
Do you feel that a lot of these sayings come from ancient Greek times?
A lot of them come from there, because I honestly think there is some continuity. There is some continuity because we're all humans. My favorite realization of that continuity was in the Iliad, that starts with an old guy mentor telling Achilles and Menelaus that sit down, shut up and listen to me, because I'm an old guy, and when I was younger things were better and children were more respectful, and that was written 800 years before Christ. So, that is part of being human, and no matter what happens, we will always be human.
Every teacher probably in every generation says exactly the same words at least once.
I have worded this opinion at some point in my life, and then I realized, okay, maybe the world is not going to end with the next generation, because we've been saying the same thing for approximately 3,000 years and we're still around, so we'll be fine,
Do you have food featuring a lot in the sayings? Because, Greeks and Greek food, it's like, what else could you want?
Not so much featuring in sayings, definitely featuring in the culture, because no matter what you do, at some point you're going to eat in Greek culture. It's like, and, a third of the Odyssey is people preparing food. People think
and
it
then
has
arguing
to do.
Around the table.
People think it has to do with fighting gods and cyclops and sirens. No, a third of it is how they prepared what they're going to eat. Another third is how they ate what they prepared. And in between, preparing the food and eating the food, you might have the odd cyclops and siren to fight against.
Being produced.
Yeah. And you're going to fight the cyclops by feeding him and offering him alcohol, so that also involves food. And
okay, the birds, they have like two birds in hand better than moose in the forest?
Better 5 in the hand
So your stakes
than
are higher.
10
5.
and waiting.
10 and
Κάλιο
waiting.
5 και στο χέρι παρά 10 και καρτέρι. That rhymes as well.
So what's funny for me, a lot of cultures have that saying.
Without
but
the birds.
They all have deviations. It's like either one sparrow gets very specific or like 2 something, then 1 moose, then 1 rabbit. It's like the animal keeps changing.
It depends on the flora and fauna.
Yeah, exactly. I went through a list. We had, I don't know, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. But we don't, the thing is, we don't really use them anymore.
Yeah.
It's very, very rare. I just see this one category of sayings, which are not really sayings, they're more colloquialisms. Okay, like to hang noodles. You would say, oh, he was hanging noodles. To hang noodles, it just means to lie. How do these things even appear
The hanging,
at all?
I would not have guessed that had anything to do with flying. One of my favorite British sayings is never let the truth get into the way of a good story.
You think you do that?
When I'm trying to weave a story, I do that quite a lot, but not to purposefully mislead anybody, rather than to make a story more entertaining. And if it hasn't got much to do with the truth,
Why not?
you shouldn't let the truth get into the way of it.